Good morning, Rogan's Rays. How is everyone doing? I hope you guys are all having a fabulous Monday so far. We are going to continue to review today and throughout the rest of this week. This week we're going to look at adding and subtracting fractions review. These are in units 4, 7, and 14. And I've got a nice picture of fraction bars here. And of course we love this. Keep calm and love fractions. Here's our mission statement for our school and our standards. So we want to be able to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators. So that's what we're going to focus on a little bit today, is looking at those denominators. That includes mixed numbers by replacing given fractions with equivalent fractions in such a way as to produce an equivalent sum or difference of fractions with like denominators. So we know we have to have that common denominator in order to add or subtract your fractions. So that's what we're going to focus on a little bit today, just reviewing how do you get that common denominator so that we'll be ready for the rest of the week. So what is a numerator and denominator? So to the right you see the fraction, which is read as 5/6. The number 5 is the numerator, so that's your top number here. I know you guys have seen this before, just reviewing these math words. And our denominator, that's the number on the bottom below the fraction bar. So your denominator tells you out of your whole how many pieces that whole is separated into. And then remember, your numerator, that top number, tells you what part of the whole you're looking at. So on this, it's like we have a pizza that's cut into 6 pieces, and 5 of those pieces got eaten, something like that. Okay, so you can, use those visuals to picture that 5/6. So what about the denominator? So in the fraction 5/6, we know that there are 6 total parts to a number, and we have 5 of them, just like I was saying. And one way to get 5/6, if we needed an addition problem, you could do 2/6 plus 3/6. That means 6 is the common denominator going all the way across, and then you just add your numerators, add straight across there. Remember, you can only do that if the denominator is the same. So let's watch a short video here about finding common denominators. Let me bring it up for you guys. All right, I have a nice video here that we're going to watch. So here are 3 ways to find a common denominator.
Common denominator. The first way is to see if the smaller denominator equals the larger one. If it works, use this larger number as your denominator. So in this example, we've got 3/4 and 2/8. Ask yourself, does 4 go into 8? Yes, it does. We could multiply 4 by 2 to get 8. We're going to go ahead and use 8 as our common denominator. Now this one, 2/8, is still 2/8. Nothing changes. Down here, though, we said we need to multiply by 2. To make it fair, we have to do the same to the top. 3 times 2 is 6. And now we can go ahead and add because we have common denominators. 6 plus 2 is 8. It's still 8, so 8/8. We don't leave it this way, though. We should always make it proper. So 8/8 is the same as 1 whole. I mentioned there's 3 ways to find a common denominator. A second way is to multiply the 2 denominators. So 2 times 3 is 6. We'll use 6 as our common denominator. Now this time I changed the denominator. So I changed it by multiplying by 2. So to make it fair, I have to do the same to the top. The numerator, 1 times 2 is 2. Down here, we changed it by multiplying by 3. So to make it fair, we did the same to the top. 1 times 3 is 3. Now I can go ahead and add them. 3/6 plus 2/6 is 5/6. Doesn't reduce. There's my answer. The third way is to look for what we call the smallest common multiple, or also called least common multiple, or LCM. Ask yourself, what is the smallest number they both will go into? I like to count by bigger numbers. 8. 6 doesn't go into 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Does 6 go into 16? No. 3 times 8 would be 24. Does 6 go into 24? Sure. So we're going to use 24 as our common denominator. The first number we could find that they both go into. And again, we change the 8. To change the 8 to 24, you'd multiply by 3, which means you have to do the same to the top. Keep it fair. 3 times 3 is 9. Down here, we change by multiplying. To get 6 to become 24, you'd have to multiply by 4. Do the same to the top, make it fair. 1 times 4 is 4. And now we go ahead and add. 9 plus 4 is 13 over 24. Does not reduce. So there is our answer. And those are the 3 ways to find a common denominator.
All right, great. So there is our common denominator. Let me switch us back to our PowerPoint. And here we go. Hope you guys like that. So what happens when it's time to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators? Now, do you guys remember that a lot of times the problems are written in the hot dog way, left and right, but it's better if we have them stacked on top of each other and use the hamburger method. So here we have different denominators of 9 and 5. So unfortunately, we can't just say, oh, 7 minus 4 is 3, 9 minus 5 is 4, 3/4, that's our answer. We have to be looking at the same amount of pieces on the bottom, that denominator, in order for us to add and subtract it. So step 1, we need to rewrite it as the hamburger method. That's always best if you have it written up and down. We're going to come out to the side and draw some more fraction bars because all these numbers are going to end up changing. Okay? And then we'll leave some space here so that we have room to write in what we're multiplying by. Now we're going to find the least common multiple. We want the smallest number that both 3 and 4 can go into evenly. Remember, it is like you are skip counting. You're counting by that number. So if we count by 3s, 3, 6, 9, 12, and we could keep going. And then 4, 8, 12, 16. But once you see that number, here's a 12 and here's a 12, you know that 12 is the least common multiple. Step 4, now we have to ask ourselves, okay, we need this 4 to change into a 12. So we are saying 4 times what equals 12? Well, we know that's 4 times 3, and then we're going to have to multiply the top times 3 also. Remember, that's like 3 over 3, which gives us 1 whole. And when you multiply a number times 1, you're not changing it at all. Yes, it looks different, but it still means the exact same number. Then we look at our 3 on the bottom here. We need this 3 to change to a 12. So 3 times what gives us 12? Well, that would be 4. And then we have to multiply the same thing on top, that 2 times 4. So here's our steps. We're going to fill in the new numerators as well. 1 times 3 on the top. So remember, we're keeping it equal because 3 over 3 is just 1 whole. Whatever you do to your bottom number, that denominator, you have to do the exact same thing to your numerator, that top number. We're keeping it balanced. So here's our new numerators. We have 3/12 and 8/12. And we are going to add. Now once you get to this last step, remember your denominator stays the same and we just add it across. 3 plus 8 is 11. So 11/12 is your final answer. Okay, so you can go ahead and enter. Let me see if I can. I'm using something new today to record. Some of you probably noticed. So I'm going to have you enter 10 minutes for your attendance today. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. So I'm using something new to record the lesson today. I just found out about this. It's called Screencast-O-Matic. And I hope you guys like this lesson. Review on finding those common denominators, because remember, you have to have your common denominator to add and subtract fractions. Also remember, iReady is open. So I sent out your username and password on Friday. You have a couple weeks to get those completed in both math and reading. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.